Every single video editor wants to land a high-paying client, but the truth is, majority of video editors have absolutely no clue what these high-paying clients are looking for. And to just break some of your beliefs that you might currently have is, no, these clients are looking for you to drive more views or more sales or more revenue or more conversions to them. Absolutely none of that. And unless you understand what the high-paying clients actually look for in an editor, obviously you won't be able to land them, but even if you will, you won't be able to retain them and actually keep them happy with the services that you're providing. So this 1K per video client that you get lucky and land, they're not gonna stick with you for a while. So I've had my first 1K project back in November 2023, and ever since then I've been working with high-paying video editing clients, so basically for almost 2 years. And now I understand quite well what are their biggest pain points and what they're actually looking for. And honestly, it's nothing like I thought before. And I used to even be a bit scared of working with high-paying clients just because I would think, okay, this guy is paying me 200 per video right now and they're being very annoying with, like, you know, they're asking me to add a certain amount of animations per video. I bet if I get 1K per video, then I would need to do 5x the amount of work. But actually, it's not the case at all. The high-paying clients are actually the nicest to work with. You just need to figure out the skills that will actually land them. And the first one is tailoring your editing specifically to them. So the thing with high-paying clients is that they don't want you to use the style or whatever else you did for your previous client. They want you to adjust that specifically to their channel and to their target audience. And this is such a huge opportunity for you as a video editor to provide lots of value, because what a lot of editors do, they don't understand the fundamentals of editing. They just add fancy, flashy stuff on top of that, like effects and all of that, but they skip the boring part, the fundamentals, right? And when it comes to landing the high-paying clients, fundamentals is really what matters. You need to have a really good understanding of basics of editing and of how to make a really good video so that you can build on top of that. So imagine that this is the foundation, right? And this is just this exchangeable part, or like the part that you can freely change for every single client, because that's what the clients are looking for. So this exchangeable stuff isn't what separates, let's say, 1K per month and 10K per month editors. It's really these fundamentals, because these fundamentals enable you to adjust the fancy stuff so easy to the specific client that you're working with. And that's exactly what high-paying clients are looking for in an editor. And how do you actually figure out, what this exchangeable stuff should be? Is by studying the target audience of their high-paying client. Because you need to understand, you're not editing videos for your client or for whoever else, you're editing videos specifically for their audience. So the best way to keep the client happy and to provide as much value to them as possible is to make the best possible video for their audience. So if their audience is older, your editing should look a lot different to if their audience was younger. Or it even works for the type of content they're making. If their content is highly technical and they're always explaining things, you shouldn't be afraid to, explain these very complex and hard to understand concepts with your editing and leave, let's say, a graphic on screen for 15 seconds that is absolutely static, because that's what their audience is looking for. They're looking for explanation of these very complex topics. But if you're editing for an entertainment creator, then chances are their audience just want to be entertained, and leaving something static for 15 seconds on screen is definitely not going to do that. The next thing high-paying clients absolutely crave in an editor is easiness to work with. Because you need to understand their dream scenario, right? And their dream scenario would be to just record the footage, then send that to you and get an MP4 file that's ready to be published on YouTube without them even double checking it. So keeping in mind this North Star, their dream scenario at all times, is incredibly helpful, because the closer you can get to that, the more value you'll be providing to your client. They're not looking to get more views or more sales out of this collaboration with you. They're just honestly looking to make their life a lot easier, because post-production for YouTube videos is the thing that takes the longest during the whole production process. And if you can just just help them get rid of this huge, insanely like humongous pain point, then you're gonna be very valuable. And that brings me perfectly onto the third point that I want to talk about, because so many editors, like I said, focus on the wrong things of views and revenue, but what they should be really focusing on is reliability. So I really like to use this analogy where you have to understand that you're gonna get paid 1K per video only by pretty well established creators who already have the whole thing down and they know what they're doing essentially. So for them, it's not that much of a chance of will this video flop or will this video do well? No, since they spend 1K on just editing of this video, they're sure that they're gonna get good return on their investment. And return on their investment is really the key here. So you need to see the whole thing from their perspective, right? Imagine that they spend some amount of money on this video, let's say it's 2K to produce it, to pay like everybody, and then that consistently makes them 5K back. Imagine if you could give 2K to some random person and they would give you 5K back. You would literally do that as many times as you can, and that exactly is what that high-paying client you're really looking to land is trying to do. And like I said earlier, post-production process takes a lot longer than pre-production and the actual production where they're recording the video. So if you can sort of solve this bottleneck for them where the post-production is taking the longest and that's the thing that's preventing them from making a lot of money by just posting more videos, you're going to be incredibly valuable to them. And you don't need to worry about views or you don't need to worry about their sales. You don't need to open this agency thing where you're doing thumbnails and you're doing scripts for them, because you're just chasing the wrong things. You can get to 10K per month as a video editor by landing these very high paying clients, but you need to develop the skills that they're looking for. And I'm telling you, the biggest one is reliability. And the highest leverage activity when it comes to just being more reliable is honestly getting faster. Because when you're fast, you're obviously not going to be as likely to miss deadlines. And there are lots of things that go into you becoming very fast, but I think the main one is mainly just mental. When you understand how important it is for these high-paying clients to actually upload and publish videos on time, then you sort of like the Parkinson's law works in your favor, where in your mind it's not even a possibility for you to miss this deadline, and you end up actually making the video on time. The high-paying client, you need to understand, they would rather get an 80% perfect video on time rather than perfect one like 3 days late. So you just have to do your best and make it not even a possibility. That's the main thing. It's not a possibility for you to ask for an extension of 1 to 2 days, or it's not a possibility for you to submit like a day later the video than what you agreed on. Once you understand that, everything changes and you stop being too overly perfectionistic about these things that the high paying clients don't necessarily care about. Yes, they would like to have the video done to a very high quality, and that's something you have to, strive to 100,000%. But you just need to understand that they would rather get a good video on time rather than a perfect one late. But like I said, there is so much that goes into becoming fast. So if you want to get my personal help with doing that, and that's gonna definitely help you get to 5 to 10K per month with editing, click the first link in the description to see how I can help you. But otherwise, hopefully you still got value out of this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.